It is. It's so funny. We were talking. Oh, no, I can't. I'm going to tell you a story offline because I'm not going to talk about it.
Oh, shit.
I was like, no, this is going on the internet. Hold on. I'll tell you a story later. So you're here for improv. Tell me about your home theater. Where is it that you guys are based out of and stuff like that?
All of us are taking classes at the UCB, at the Upright Citizens Brigade.
Cool.
We're sort of roaming, but they've been nice to us. We don't have the pit has been nice to us, and we do shows with the Magnets sometimes too.
Oh, right on.
But UCB owns us.
Owns you?
If I had a gun to my head and if they were like, who's your improv theater daddy, I'd have to be like, it's UCB.
Well, you also took classes there, so kind of they are because you're doing their style.
Right.
I was talking to somebody today because the new movement style is a little different, and one time I was teaching a class, and that kid in the class had read the UCB manual and came in and started trying to tell me things in level 1, and I was like, they just have a different way of looking at it, and I'm glad you made it through that book because it's pretty dense, especially since you've never taken a class before. It's dense for me. I've done improv for 7 years, but you're trying to tell me that's their style, and I'm trying to tell you what our style is.
The know-it-alls are hilarious to me in improv, because it's just you realize that it's the Wild West.
Right.
It's sort of the whole, the new movement, you all don't take suggestions, right?
Do not, no.
That blew my mind.
Yeah, it's a further level of improv without the net.
Yeah, close. All right, I get it.
There's a certain theory of a gym, doing reps at a gym, and there's a lot of the vocabulary references that kind of thing. And so the idea would be that we set up the situation and then we give you a ton of reps. And every class gets a ton of shows, and there's just a lot of chance to perform all the time so that you can essentially be working out at the gym as much as you want to work out. And so due to that sort of styling, we were we're trying to create this idea that's just a little bit harder. And also, when they first started, apparently every time they asked for a suggestion, someone just said dildo. So they were like, okay, we're not going to do that.
I was just was it the same guy? He just get messages. He just keeps coming back.
Well, it was just at the beginning of Austin Improv, so probably there was just that one guy who went to all the shows who just yelled dildo, and they were like, Roger, no. Listen,
you gotta go, man. You can't.
How big is the as far as I know New York is so huge, it's difficult to really everyone that does stuff in New York is not one single scene. What's the scene that you feel you're in, and how's it is it you and a group of friends go to these open mics and these theaters, or you know what I mean? Because I lived in New York for a little while, and it was I pretty much hung out in the Lower East Side in Tribeca, didn't go anywhere else. I didn't live there, but when I did comedy, I went there. So I didn't go anywhere else. I never went to UCB or the Magnet or Pitt. I just went to these random dive bars that were avant-garde theaters that were listen, if you just want to dance and then cry a little on stage, that's cool. You're great.
Where's that at? That sounds fun.
Yeah, I moved to New York in 2002 because I was all what, terrorist attack? I love it. Get in there. And I went over and I started doing comedy at this place called collective unconscious. And it was as weird as it sounds. And they just did, sort of open mics. And then once you did the open mics a few times, you got to know the people, and then you got in the booked shows. And it was that, and then the Bowery Poetry Club, which was just a little bit of open mic stuff and weird crap, and then, poetry and music and stuff.
My buddy runs the show there. Very sick, very good. This is a nice spot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it reopened, right. Awesome. Yeah, after, I think Bob had some issues financially for like a year or two, and they closed it, and we were all like, what? No! And there's a whole Facebook group of people that hung around there during these few years, and they're always, like, reporting on, like, what's going on with, the poetry club. They're running it like, this is what's happening. It's so funny.
Community is important.
Yeah. So what's your, where are your circles? What are your main things? Hey! This is AJ Dunk. I'm Amy. How are you? How funny. Aaron LaRoche.
This is the team.
You are?
Yeah.
I love that.
We're the thirst. That's why we're the thirst.
The thirst?
We're the thirst.
Is that one separate troop within?
No. I'm saying we hear it. We hear it for that time. We hear it for the spotlight.
that awesome improv spotlight.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not realize you guys knew each other. That's so hilarious. I'm like sending you messages and saying like, hey, there's this guy I'm going out with today if you want to hang out. So funny. Yeah. That's awesome.
We hang.
Well, okay, so we're talking about, like, where you guys hang out. Like, what are the open mics? What are the, like, what's your scene? Like, what's your week like?
It's mostly, like, at the Chelsea UCB or the East Village one. Sometimes hang out at McManus, which is a bar that all the UCB people go to. The Creek in the Cave is a spot that's good to hit.
Right on. Are those all in, like, the Chelsea area?
The Creek in the Cave is in... it's like Long Island City, I think.
So Queens?
Yeah.
Right on. I lived in Long Island City when I lived there. That's why I was like, I did not live in the Lower East Side. I just went to the places in the Lower East Side. Yeah, I don't know why. What got you into, like, how did you get to New York and just go to UCB? Did you, like, hear about it before you got there? Because when I moved there, I guess it was a little too fresh because I didn't hear about it, and I was not, like, I just went to the, like, oh, you want to just eat a banana on stage and say weird words? That seems like a good art piece. I'll watch that.
I've watched their sketch show for a while, and I was like, and I'm a comedy nerd, so I was sort of in the habit of watching sketch and sort of being like doing shit in Northampton, but it was like I wanted to get better because I felt like doing comedy there was really fun and supportive, but I want to get spit on. I want to get beat up so I can get the muscle mass, you know.
Oh, right on. I'm thinking like, I want a small theater. I want to be performing and they're all like, ha! I'm too literal. Yeah. You're great.
I came to New York to get spit on.
Yeah.
And get weird. I was working catering and I was just like, I'm out.
Oh, you're out. New York cater waiter. Pretty good gig. You meet all the old SAG actors.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Everybody right before their big break is catering your event.
There's always a little a press packet underneath each plate. This is what I do.
Yeah, there's a lot of just people just saying the name of their podcast or website. Hi, how you doing? AmyJordan.biz. How's it going? Great. Yeah. I love that. Do you it's been a while since I've been in New York, again, the UCB circles have a different, vibe, both from the New Movement and then also, certainly from the world that I was doing my comedy in. But, do you feel like there's a sort of biz mentality, like a showbiz, I could be Amy Poehler, or, I could be Matt Besser, kind of it's going to happen for me in a minute, or is it kind of more I'll just enjoy this craft?
I think there are two camps. There's a little of both. There are the people who are trying to get on and are I'm the greatest thing ever, and I will decimate. And then there are people who are I like this, I like these people, I'm a hangout.
Right.
But yeah, egos are crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it can be difficult, but I find that I hear that New York and LA have a bit more of them. They're a bit heavier, and so I always worry. And it's also why I'm glad that you guys come hang out with us for a little while, because I'm all hey man, the New Movement people are just chill. So relax, and we're so excited you're doing improv and hanging out, and so it's a lot easier. I I don't know if you guys have met Chris and Tammy, maybe Chris True, who runs the festival. Yeah. He told me he was trying to check in with every person to make sure that he sort of met everybody, which is a hell of a feat. And Tammy is the co-founder with him and also his wife, and they're like mom and dad for everyone. Yeah, and they're big thing, the thing that is the most important thing is just sort of the love. They want us to all care about each other and take care of each other. The first thing that I teach level 1 in Austin, and when I talk to my level 1 improvisers, the first thing I say is the New Movement wants to be a nice place. When you come into the theater, when you walk in, the world is hard. You've had a tough time at your work, and probably there's angry political things that you've read today. Once you come in and we're all just going to be nice to each other, we'll agree, we're going to have a fun time.
I don't know that.
The guy you just said hello to?
I think he was just being nice, but I don't mean to derail.
You're totally fine. That was hilarious. Because the both of you were just hey, what's up? It's just kind of what New Orleans is, though. People say hello. Yeah. I've been saying hi, how you doing, to every person I've been, and my friend who I was with, who, my co-host, by the way, Wendell, was feeling under the weather and could not join us. Sorry about that. But, yeah, I was sort of being really overly friendly like that to people yesterday, and he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know, I'm having a great time. How are you? Have a great time at the festival. And he was like, you're crazy. So, they were just filled with the spirit of hospitality. They wanted you to know they were happy you're here.
That's I love that about this place.
It is fun, isn't it? I like New Orleans. Yeah. Is this your first time here?
This is my second time here for comedy.
Oh, second time for comedy. Is both times been through the New Movement?
No, one time I was on a stand-up tour with some friends.
Oh, right on. Cool. AJ, you been here before?
I've been here 4 or 5 times.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool.
In the last 4 to 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I only ever came here in the post-Katrina world because Chris and Tammy came to Austin because of Katrina, and that's what led them to start the theater in Austin. They were in Austin for a little while doing stuff with the existing theaters and then decided to start their own. And so I'd never been to New Orleans until I met them. And then they said, like I was telling you earlier, it was about 2 years into the Austin theater, and they were like, hey, we got a new space downtown. We're going to go to New Orleans. You guys run this. You're good. And we're going to start a new one. And then they moved in right around the corner. So that's how I got distracted. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good. There's a lot of pieces.
Yeah, there really are. My favorite part of this whole thing is just while we're discussing, also thinking about the sound engineering that's going to require turn this into a workable file.
Yeah.
It's okay. I was trying to teach myself skills, so this one will help me. Thank you. Yeah, no, my whole the whole rig that I had was